We got patch notes galore coming for, what is this, June 17th. This was posted on June 14th. We're just not getting around to kind of deep diving into it. Going to read through the patch notes, go through things, and then at the end give my final thoughts. If you're curious about what's coming up on Monday the 17th for Season 4, well, stick around. We'll see what we got here. So here we go. June 17th, 2024. We're having a patch on Monday, not a Tuesday, which is kind of interesting, but, you know, we'll hang with that. So dev notes, we greatly appreciate everyone's excitement since the launch of Season 4. It has been good, and very happy with the state of the game. The changes in this patch are aimed at buffing classes and builds that are not performing as well as their counterparts. We're also slightly reducing the difficulty of the pit to ensure that most builds are able to get to tier 60 to get to their final tier of masterworking materials. Cool, so something for everybody in here, right? Let's dig in. I haven't really got a chance to really sink my teeth into these patch notes yet, so see what we got here. Balance updates. In general, we have healing potions got a boost. Healing potions... minor and light 50% to 100%, and then the max level one increased by 200%. I guess this is a way of Blizzard answering the call to I guess since we have bigger health pools now. I don't really know how this is going to affect things too much, but hey, cool. Buff to potions. Well, we're cool with that. Legendary aspect of the Protector. Barrier cooldown has been reduced by 10 seconds. Not bad. Protector's actually been really well at saving you from one-shots, I've noticed. Like, things won't actually one-shot you. Your bubble will kind of pop up and help you and get you out of a sticky situation. I think that's kind of like the new death potion in hardcore. Don't quote me on that. Just saying, it kind of feels that way. Ancestral unique items and Dariel's Visage. Poison Nova now spawns on the enemy instead of the player. That's big. Poison Nova damage has been increased by 50%. This is huge. And Dariel's Visage is one of those uber uniques I never got my hands on, but I always wanted to try it with a rogue. And I always wanted to try it with Fists of Fate as well. Just a lucky hit. This season even better with Heartseeker. I think this could be really good. I don't know. I can't test it right now until I can make myself an Endariel's. But if you got one, try it out. Just see what's up. If you get some cool findings out of this, let me know in the comments. But I'm kind of excited that Endariel's is getting a buff. This is pretty cool. Doombringer Shadow Explosion increased by 100%. That's good. Ring of Starless Skies. All right, this is a pretty solid ring. We actually got our hands on one of these the other day. Maximum stacks of resource cost reduction and bonus damage increased from 4 to 5. Okay. Therefore, increasing the amount of resource cost reduction and bonus damage from 40% multiplicative to 50. All right. I am okay with these changes. Tyrael's Might. Divine barrage damage has been increased by 100%. That's pretty cool as well. I don't have a Tyrael's Might, but I've been seeing Barbs kind of do okay with this for a while. So we'll see what comes out of that. Like Barbs need any help, right? Paragon. What do we got with the Paragon? Stat requirements for non-main stats reduced from 90 to 60. This is a godsend. This is honestly a godsend. With the rework and items, it's hard to get all... It's hard to reach stat requirements for rare nodes. Right now, I'm kind of suffering on some rare nodes because I can't get the whole effect of it, right? Well... Hopefully this takes into effect, or this takes into account that, and we get this fixed. A class's main stat is the one stat that increases damage for all their skills. For example, Sork's main stat is Int, so this change affects their rare Paragon nodes that have threshold bonuses for dexterity and willpower. Exactly what I was saying. The stat requirements to activate any rare node increases for each additional Paragon board that you progress through. Some of these nodes that require non-main stats were harder to activate than intended. Some by a mile. Like, once you get to, board 6 and 7, you don't even want to really look. You're just going for maybe a legendary node or something because the rare nodes are just kind of out of reach. To get a bonus, that is. This change makes it easier to activate these nodes, especially on later Paragon boards. good changes. This is good changes overall for pots, uniques, Paragon. These are all buff. Now let's get into the class stuff. We got Barbarian. Barbs are slamming again this season, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Barbs have just been good since Season 2. They've been good in Season 1 even, but Season 2 they just exploded and never went away. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Whirlwind. Damage has been increased by 15%. Violent Whirlwind damage bonus is increased by a 5% multiplicative. So they want us to play Whirlwind, I see. There's already a nice Whirlwind Barb speed clearing pit runner out there. If you haven't looked that up yet, definitely check that out if you're interested in playing Whirlwind. But it looks like it's getting a buff, so hey. Call of the Ancients got a little bit of an increase. Corlix's leap damage increased by 12.5%. Talik's Whirlwind damage increased by 20%. Maddox's upheaval damage increased by 13%. Prime Call of the Ancients damage increased by 5% multiplicative. Yeah, that's fine. This is good. Call of the Ancients is used on some boss killer builds, I've noticed. I mean, it's got nothing on Flay currently, but Frenzy damage increased by 8%. Woo! All right, Frenzy, you're making a show here. Flay bleeding damage over time increased by 8%. Interesting. I was expecting Flay to be getting some nerfs because Flay is absolutely stupid right now. Enhanced Flay, vulnerable duration increased from 3 to 5 seconds. Battle Flay, bleed damage bonus has been increased by 5%. What? Combat Flay, maximum stack bonus increased from 4 to 5. Damage reduction 3 to 4. Buff duration from 3 to 6. Jeez. Okay. Well, we actually are playing a Flay build right now, and it's ridiculous with bad gear. I'll put it this way. I started looking at Flay builds just out of curiosity, and I threw some random crap together, and it's doing better than what my bash builds were doing. So, all right. Let's go for Flay. Flay builds is on top, I guess, even more so. I mean, it was a question beforehand, but Flay is getting boom. And it doesn't have to rely on holy pots either, so that's another bonus for it. Flay slamming. Or cutting, we shall say. Passives, pressure point. Previously, your lucky core skills have up to a 10% chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. Now your core and weapon mastery skills have a 10% chance to make them vulnerable for 2 seconds. Okay. Tough as nails. Additional thorns as bleeding damage increased from 10 to 15%. All right. Key passives. Walking Arsenal got a little bit of an increase. Needs a lot more to be... Well, actually, I don't know. I'll hold judgment on this. I haven't tried Walking Arsenal this season. I know it got some buffs. I just don't know how good it is. Legendary aspects of Tempering Blows. Weapon swaps to activate have been reduced by 1. Cool. Slaking aspect. You have a 60% chance to gain 20 Fury when Ren deals damage. Now you got it when a core skill deals damage. To at least one bleeding enemy, your maximum Fury is increased by 5 to 20. Hey! That's actually pretty good because there's some builds out there I've been seeing with like max Fury increasing damage and all that stuff. Like that could be good. Could be. I mean, we'll see. Dust Devil aspect. Whirlwind increase right here by 100%. Let's go. All right, Whirlwind Barbs. Let's get some Whirlwind Barbs going. Aspect of Relentless Arm Masters. Before, gain 35 to 65% increased Fury generation while all bonuses from Walking Arsenal are active. Now you get 35 to 65 increased Fury generation and 15% Fury cost to your skills while all bonuses of Walking Arsenal are active. Again, I haven't tried Walking Arsenal. I don't know if it's good or bad. We'll see. Gore's got a buff. Look at this. They haven't touched this. They haven't touched the barb gloves in so long, but they finally gave him a buff. pretty significant buff, by the way. 25 to 35% of base damage to 40 to 50%. Pretty good increase there. Ancient's Oath got a buff as well. Damage increase from 30 to 50 to 40 to 60. That's pretty solid as well. Barbs, man. Whoever's working on the barb balance at Blizzard, spread the love a little bit. Come on. Druids. Come work on Druids for a little bit, please. Please. Barbs are... I don't know, man. Pre-season or before season 4 hit, there was questions if barbs were going to be great with all the overpower nerfs and, you know, they can't do one-shots anymore. Barbs are far and beyond top tier again. By far. The flay things? This is ridiculous. Like, this don't need to happen. Flay is already whoosh. This is going to send it over the edge even more. So this is kind of crazy. But hey, there's barbs for you. I guess moving on to druids now. Please tell me they get some great buffs. I've only heard about the rabies buff, and it's not even significant. Let's see what we got for boons. Boons did need quite a bit of love. Gift of the Stag, maximum spirit increase from 20 to 40. Okay. Prickle Skin, Thorns amount increased by 100%. I mean, it's a buff. It's something, I guess. Advantageous Beast. What is this? Previously, reduced the duration of control impairing effects by 15%. Now, gain 15% movement speed and 15% impairment reduction. Okay, this isn't bad. 15 movement speed, man. You always want movement speed. So this is a good change. This is positive. Advantageous Beast is the best thing so far. Scythe, critical strike chance increased by 5%. That's good. Iron Feather, 6% health increase. Okay, much needed. Druids need more forms of health. If you look at barbs, okay, I'm going to hark back on barbs for a bit, but the amount of health that they can get from imposing presence on their gear, stacked with a Doombringer, stacked with rubies, stacked with health nodes on Paragon. We're seeing barbs with like 500k, 800k plus health. It's insane. It's actually crazy. And all the other classes just pale in comparison as far as like hardcore goes, to be honest. You get 800k life or 1 million. I think some people have been reporting millions, or 1 million that is, not multi-millions. But if you get that high, I haven't seen it myself. I've only personally gotten up to close to 200,000 on my character, but that's already insane. Bring some other classes up. Come on. Get them up. Swooping attacks. Attack speed has been increased from 10% to 15%. Cool. It looks like everything just got like a slight buff. Fortify amount. We don't. This isn't needed. Honestly, like if you're playing Druid and you have fortify problems, you did something wrong. Druids are the easiest to fortify all the time, nearly. It's just, this isn't needed. That's just something to put in the patch notes. Obsidian Slam, kills required for guaranteed overpower, reduced from 20 to 10. That's cool, but Druid's biggest problem right now is single target damage, I believe. There are specific builds that can slay single target, but that's their problem right now, is single target. Rabies, poisoning damage increased by 25%. This is nothing. Pulverize, damage is increased by 76%. That's a big number. Raging Pulverize. Previously, enemies overpowered by Pulverize are stunned for 3 seconds. Now, Pulverize deals a 30% multiplicative increased overpower damage, and enemies overpowered by Pulverize are stunned for 3 seconds. This is a nice change. I've played so many Pulverize builds while leveling Druids, and they always seem to kind of taper off, right? Around level 80, 90, you want to start kind of looking at other things. You can still level with Pulverize all the way to 100 just fine, but bosses are a headache. And I don't know. I would like to see Blizzard do some kind of change with Pulverize to where, and I'm talking ridiculousness here, like this is how much health how much help it needs. Say if Pulverize hits a single target and no other targets, including the Shockwave hitting other targets. If Pulverize, because every time you play a Pulverize build, you got to do Shockwave, right? It's a must. Come on. Anyway, back to my point. If you only hit one target, bump that damage up. If it hits multiple targets, that's one thing. But if it hits one singular target, like increase that damage by like literally 500%. And then maybe we can get to talking, right? You did it with Charge. Charge was increased by like 900% or something in Season 3. It was ridiculous, and it was fun. But, come on, like, Pulverize is so bad on single target. It just needs some love. It really does. Druids need some love. Passives, what do we got here? Nature's Fury, chance to trigger a free skill of the opposite category increased by 5%. This is good. This is good. Perfect Storm, damage bonus has been increased by 10% multiplicative. That's good. Nature's Reach. This is solid. This is a good change as well. Damage increase to distance enemies. Basically, at your third point, you're going up by 6%. Toxic Claws. Poisoning amount increased from 8 to 12, 8, 15, 23 to 12, 24, 36. Okay. Toxic Claw's been one of those things that's been kind of buggy. I don't know. I never used it, to be honest with you. Quick Shift. Maximum damage bonus has been increased by 6, 12, 18 to 8, 16, 24. That's good. Quick Shift is right now, I think the better builds are using Quick Shift. I haven't been paying attention really to Druid since we leveled one, but yeah, I think Quick Shift was all the rave like 3 weeks ago. Defensive Posture. What do we got here? Previously, it increases the amount of it's just going to increase Fortify and damage reduction while fortified now. So that's good. That's good. That's good. So giving you a little bit of DR on fortification. This is a good thing. Mending. Previously, while in werebear form, you receive additional healing from all sources. Now, while in werebear form, you receive additional healing from all sources, and you gain increased multiple or maximum life. This is big. What I was saying earlier, more ways of boosting that health up. This could be it. This literally could be it. I don't think it'll be as much as bars, but this could help a lot. Provocation. Ooh. Time in werebear form required for overpower reduced by 4 seconds. This is huge, actually. More overpowers, more happy bear. That's good. Legendary aspects. Let's see. Trampled Earth. What do we get here? Landslide damage has been increased by a chunk. This is good. 20% at max here. Subterranean. Damage has been increased as well by 5% max. Aspect of the Alpha. Werewolf Companion damage has been increased by 15% at max. That's good. Unsatiated aspect. Shred damage when cast above 50 spirit. Damage increased by 10%. All right. And then on the Paragon nodes for Druids, Constricting Tendrils, damage has been increased by 30%. And Dominate Glyph, damage bonus after an overpower has been increased by 3%. I mean, they could have bumped this up to 8%, and I think it would have been fine. But, hey, all over buffs so far for Druids. I still think they need a lot more. Honestly, I do. Druids is one of my favorite classes still, even though they feel like trash right now. They really do. Hey, they're still one of my favorite classes. They were one of my favorite classes in Diablo 2. They're one of my favorite classes in Diablo 4. I just hope Season 5, they bring us, here's the pack of classes. Here's the Druid. Like, come on. Get us up here maybe? I don't know. Get us somewhere. Moving on, Necromancer. What do we got here? Book of Dead. What have we done to minions? Sacrifice. All right. So they buffed minions. Everyone plays minions because they're way better now. And now they're giving us sacrifice buffs. No one's going to... Is anyone actually doing this? I thought everyone was playing minion build this season because it was fun. But hey, if you do sacrifices, looks like you got a 5% buff across the board here. Literally across the board. Looks like 5%, 5%. This is like Oprah giving out cars right here. 5%, 5%, 5%. That's a lot. That's cool, though. Options are good. So, hey, cool. Well, that's about all they got. What did we get for Paragon? Blood begets blood, legendary node. Damage increased by double. Hey, that's pretty cool. Blood Drinker Glyph. Fortified bonus damage has been increased 7 to 10% of your max life. Okay. Desecration increased by 5%. Gravekeeper. Damage bonus increased from 2 to 3% up to a maximum of 12 to 18% for every close corpse. And that's good. Buff, buff, buff. Legendary aspect, sacrificial aspect, sacrifice bonus has been increased. Essentially bonus by double here. Shielding Storm. Previously, each time that Bone Sword damaged an enemy, gain a barrier equal to 1 to 6% of your base life for 10 seconds. Now, it's equal to 1 to 6% of your max life for 10 seconds. That's big. This is huge. With the amount of health increase that we get now, this is big. So, hey, that's huge right there. That's a good change. Big change. Necromancers, I'd say that's probably the best change you got for Bone Storm users. Everything else, I mean, you got something. Probably. Moving on to rogues now. What we got here? Twisting Blades got a 20% damage increase on initial and return damage. That's pretty big. I know not a lot of people are playing Twisting Blades. It's all about Heartseeker or Rapid Fire. Some Barrage builds out there I've been seeing, but Twisting Blades has kind of fallen off a little bit, so maybe we'll see a bit of a resurgence with this. Flurry, damage increased by 25%. Moving on. Exposure. Lucky Hit no longer requires direct damage to proc and will now also work on DOT. Ooh. All right. That's kind of cool. Sturdy, damage reduction has been increased by 6%, or it looks like 2%, 4%, 6%. Respectively. Amending Obscurity. Previously, while stealth, you heal for 4, 8, 12% of your max life. Now, when entering stealth in every second while you're stealth, you heal for 5, 10, 15 of your max life. So, basically, heal pot, in a sense. Your Paragon nodes on rogues. Versatility Glyph, non-basic and non-core skill damage has been increased. Cool. Fluidity Glyph. Previously, when you cast an agility skill, you gain 9% increased energy regen for 6 seconds. Now, when you cast an agility skill, you deal 10% multiplicative increased damage and gain 15% increased energy regen. Okay. I mean, that's cool. I don't know. Energy consumption isn't a thing. Rapid Fire, I guess. Yeah, but... All right, explosive glyphs. What we got here? Damage reduction increased by 5%. DR is always a plus. Diminished glyph, another 5% buff. This is good. Legendary aspects. What do we have here? Blade Dancer's aspect. Damage has been increased by a chunk. Looks like a 20% increase multiplicatively over here. So there you go. Twisting Blades. Let's go. Aspect of Artful Initiative. Energy required to drop grenades reduced from 100 to 75, and grenade damage has been increased by 50%. That's pretty cool. Aspect grenade damage has been increased by 200%. When using Shadow Step, grenades now drop at the location the player teleports to instead of where they teleported from. That is very handy, actually. The only changes were the grenades drop when using Shadow Step, not evade. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. Let's see. Trickster's aspect, grenade damage increased by 50%. They really want us to mess with some grenade builds, don't they? Umbrous aspect. Ooh. Let's see. Lucky Hit, critical strikes, and marksmanship skills have a 45-60% chance to get a free Dark Shroud. Now, critical hits... Oh, I see. So now it's not just marksman skills. if you're playing Twisted Blades or some kind of melee attack, you can get this is important. This is one of the most important things, I think, for Rogue. Dark Shroud is huge for Rogue. Your DR, that's your best form of survivability, so this is huge. Very good. So you can use this on melee attacks now. Very good. Aspect of Arrow Storms. What do we have here? Arrow Storm damage has been increased by 30%. Bonus damage dealt by all Arrow Storms increased by, looks like 5%. Vengeful Aspect. Arrow Storm damage has been increased by 30%. All right. They're kind of pushing Arrow Storm a little bit here, but we need more. We need more. Unique items. Eyes in the Dark. Used to Death Trap dealt 50 to 70% increased damage unless it hits a boss of player. Death Trap will continue to rearm itself till it kills. Now Death Trap deals 50 to 90% increased damage and will rearm itself a second time. So it's gonna happen again. Cool. Saboteur Signet. Grenade damage has been increased by 50%. And that's everything for Rogue. No changes to the Paragon board for you folks. Or wait, no, it's right here. I read through it. I just thought it was going to be at the end. Never mind. Hey, looks like some cool changes for Rogue, for melee rogues in particular. You guys got a little something here. Looks like grenades got buffed, but I don't really see grenades being used in the future, if I'm being honest. I tried that build a few times. I couldn't get anything working with it. Hey, maybe people that are smarter than me will come up with some cool grenade build now. We'll see. Anyway, moving on to the Sorcerer. This is one of the classes I had some of the most fun leveling in Season 4 with. Incinerate has been so fun. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but it is so fun to level with Incinerate. I had a blast doing it. So, skills for Sork. Ice Armor. Barrier amount increase from 30% of your base life to 25% of your... Oh, okay. I was reading that so wrong. Barrier amount has been increased from 30% of your base life to 25% of your max life. This is important. This is good. Max life is better. Shimmering Teleport duration has been increased from 3 to 4 seconds. Incinerate got 5% more damage reduction. Let's go. Any buffs is good buffs. Any damage reduction is good. Passives. We got Potent Warding. Maximum resistance increase from 123 to 246. Adjusted functionality no longer excludes basic skills. Interesting. Glass Cannon. Additional damage taken has been reduced by... Ooh. It goes from 369% to 246 now. That's cool. Align the elements. Persistence duration increase from 2 to 3. Conduction. Movement speed increased from 369 to 4812. Okay. Duration has been increased from 3 to 4. Electrocution. Reduced enemy damage dealt increased from 51015 to 61218. A little bit more damage reduction. Warmth got an increase. So if you're burning an enemy, it's 0.3, 0.6, 0.9, 2.5, 1, 1.5. Those pretty big changes. Basically, you just got some healing buffs with warmth. Inner Flames. Bonus damage while healthy has been increased from 369 to 4812. All right. Overflowing Energy. These are all things I never used because I was just using Incinerate and I was not using warmth at all. But burning damage, give me some of that. Overflowing Energy cooldown reduction for hitting elite enemies has been increased from 0.25 to 0.35 seconds. Avalanche bonus increased by 15% multiplicative. That's cool. Even though everyone's using Shatter right now, I believe. Let's see. Combustion. Bonus damage per unique source of burning has been doubled. Okay. Isu's Ferocity. Critical strike chance increased from 5% to 10%. Shatter. Bonus damage increased by 5%. And Veer's Mastery. Bonus damage increased from 15 to 20%. And bonus damage after a critical strike increased from 20 to 25%. So just little incremental buffs to almost everything. That's good. I like that. Legendary Aspects. What do we got here? Aspect of Concentration has been increased by 5%. Aspect of Unbroken Tether. Additional chain lightning chains increase from 4 to 5. So another little zap there. Aspect of Overwhelming Currents. Chance to cast an additional shock skill increase from 15 to 30 to 25 to 40. Okay. Mage Lord's aspects got got triple bonus damage whenever, or triple damage reduction when fighting a close enemy. That's pretty cool. Aspect of the Shattered Stars. Meteorites damage increase from 20 to 35%, 30 to 45%. Aspect of Frozen Memories. Additional cast increase from 1 to 2, and maximum stacks increase from 3 to 5 on Battlecaster's aspect. So, cool stuff. Again, incremental changes all over. Unique items. Flame Scar. Embers has been increased by 35%. Aesador's Overflowing Cameo. Damage has been increased for every 100% int, increased from 50 to 60% multiplicative. That's kind of cool. I think that could be pretty neat, but I don't remember if Aesador is even worth a damn. I don't think it is. So, cool, but kind of need more. Staff of Endless Rage. A bonus damage increase from 40 to 60 to 50 to 70. And last but not least, we have Gloves of the Illuminator. Damage penalty reduced from 35 to 25% to 30 to 20. So there is all of the class changes that we have. Overall, just buffs, man. This is good. This is a cool mid-season thing. Let's dig in and get to the end of this. We got endgame here. What do we have for ourselves here in endgame? We have health and damage levels have been reduced in the pit. All right. The adjustment is most significant as players approach tier 60, so more players can fully participate in masterworking. This is cool because I'm not going to lie, some of the little homebrew builds that I've done, I can only get to like tier 50-ish. I couldn't get to 60 until I just started using Flay, and now I feel like I can go to like 100, but we're playing hardcore with it, so it's kind of, I don't really want to go past like 65, 70. A little scary territory there. We'll see. We're adjusting the pit so more players can enjoy a smoother in-game progression experience. That's cool. That's fine. Now everyone can get a hold of the in-game mat, the Neath Iron or whatever it's called. So cool. Cool. People can play what they want and still get something. All tormented bosses have had their health reduced by 30%. Huh. This includes blood boils from Tormented Echo of Lilith. Interesting. Okay. They're making the pit, they're tuning it down just a little bit for everybody. So it's not a bad thing. Bug fixes. What do we have here? This is the last of the patch here. So bug fixes. They fixed an fixed an issue where Holy Bolt Elixir's damage was scaling unintentionally high when it was triggered from pets such as Necromancer's minions. Oh. Holy Bolt's Elixir now deals a percentage of your weapon damage rather than percentage of the enemy's health. This change is intended to reduce its effectiveness against the toughest enemies in the higher tiers of the pit, but will still be really valuable for players throughout the whole game. We made this change alongside the reduction of the health of the enemies in the pit so players who are delving deep into the pit aren't heavily affected. So, in case you didn't know, these Holy Bolt Elixirs have been bugged. People have been like one-shotting the highest HP of bosses with these things. As long as there's like a minion or something around, Holy Bolt proc would just slay, right? So they're kind of fixing that a little bit. That's not bad. It's a good thing, but I feel like this is going to shake up a lot of builds because people were relying on this for certain builds. I know Dust Devils, to an extent, was using some stuff like this. Many builds were using this, so we'll see how that shakes things up. For the majority of us players, it probably isn't going to matter that much, but we'll see. They also fixed an issue where casting boulders with Dolmen Stone would cause it not to cast at all. Boulders now have a limit of 10, but their damage has been increased by 10% for each boulder. Okay. They fixed an issue where rapid fire with Scoundrel's Kiss, that's the rapid fire mortar ring, couldn't properly hit close targets and could sometimes fire projectiles behind the player. This also increases the radius of the explosions by 25%. Interesting. Well, that's fixed. And last but not least, there was a bug issue that came up when you got your favorite pet, your dog or your cat, was being counted as a minion. So this made some radical changes to a few builds out there. Well, that's fixed now. So there you have it. That right there is patch 1.4.3. Whew, that's a lot of buffs. I'll tell you, the one thing that I'm going to harp on again for my ending thoughts, I think the buffs overall are great. They're great. But this, I mean, this is cool and everything. I'm playing a Flay Barb myself right now. But this is a lot, man. Honestly, it's a lot. Like, Flay Barbs are going to slay even harder now. So if you're not playing a Flay Barb, I mean, maybe a time to swap from, bashing things to, cutting things. We'll see. I think this is kind of nonsense, but hey, it's Barbablo 4 again. Barbs are back in the driver's seat. I think they've never left since season 2, but they're still there. I mean, I got to admit, it's got to be hard to balance. They got 4 sticks. Like, come on. It's hard to balance. But, hey, man, positive things for Druids. All these buffs are positive. Are they useful? I mean, some of them are good. Are they going to fix Druid? No. I think Druids, I mean, maybe they do. Who knows? But I don't think this fixes Druid at all. I'm really excited for Pulverize now. Not going to lie. This kind of makes me want to make a bear Druid just to have fun with it, because my favorite thing in this game is Pulverize bears. It's just, it's fun. It's just fun to me. I really like Pulverize. It's one of my favorite skills in the game. It was my first build in the game ever in preseason, and I just loved it. It was my first build in the server slam in the beta. Like, I love Pulverize build. It was fun. So to see it getting a lot of love here, it's great. I would love to see some kind of single target boost of some sort with Pulverize, because that's where it's bad. But hey, it got a lot of love right here, so I can't complain. Necromancer, they're trying to give you guys sacrificial bonuses in case you don't want to play minions. That's good. I mean, that's not bad at all. It's 5% nearly across the board. So if you add all this up and you're playing, summonless build, that's big. This adds up. Your Paragon board's got some buffs and everything. Like, Necromancer's still looking really good. Necromancer was a blast to play Season 4, by the way. It was my first class. Many people's first class to 100 this season. Absolutely fun. Necro, they did a good job. It could use some help again, but it's still good. It's still fun. The AI could use some help. Rogues, I love my Heartseeker Rogue. I can't complain with all this stuff. I really want to try out a Rogue with Andariel's Visage. I really want to see what that's all about. But other than that, I got nothing much to really say about Rogue changes or Sorc changes, to be honest. I mean, it's cool. My Incinerate build got a 5% increase. I really do want to try out that Frozen Orb, what's it called? The Frozen Orb Conjuration thing going on. That looks like a lot of fun, but I just haven't had time or character space. You know what I want to see with one of these patches, Blizzard? A little bit of character space added to it, please. 12 slots is great, but how about 24? How about 36? Come on. Infinite numbers. Give me something. I don't know. It'd be nice. Anyway, this is great, honestly. Fixed some problems. Gave us some buffs. Nerfed the pit a little bit, too, so that's going to be a little bit less challenging. This patch is great, honestly. I can't complain about any of it. What do you think? What are your favorite things about this patch? Do you like all the buffs? Do you think Pulverize is going to be good? Do you think Flay needs more buffs? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to leave a like, favorite, sub, whatever they call it these days on YouTube, hit me up. I'd appreciate it. We're going to get on out of here and play some more Diablo 4. Looking forward to Monday and seeing what we get to dive into with the pit, honestly. But that's going to do it for me. Y'all take care. Y'all be good. We'll see you on the next one.